Sleep, big topic, very broad topic. A lot of people undervalue how powerful sleep is. As coaches, as any coach should do, it should be one of the major things you do track with somebody. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over a few key bases when it comes to sleep, why it's important, why you should look into it, and how you can improve your sleep.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that, you know, you might not feel like in most cases sleep is a problem. If you're aware of your sleep being an issue, it's definitely an issue. You know, sometimes we get so used to waking up a couple of times at night that it becomes the norm. Okay, so it's important to understand what good sleep is and how we can optimize it. Okay, so the first thing that you want to consider, let's say you do have poor sleep, you're waking up at certain times of the night, you just can't fall asleep at night, or you're waking up too early, or you're waking up really fatigued and you just can't wake up and get out of bed. Like, there's going to have to be like a multifunctional approach to improving your sleep. It's not just going to be one thing that improves your sleep. Okay, we call this sleep hygiene. Okay, so it isn't going to be a case of here's a supplement, there you go, you should sleep. There are so many components that we have to consider to help you guys get a decent night's kip so that you can recover, you know, higher energy, better sex drive, you know, more energy in the workplace, better workouts, etc. So what we'll do now is we'll just explain a few things that you need to consider when you want to have a good sleep.
When it comes to sleep, it's kind of like training, yeah? So you have your pre-sleep, during sleep and after sleep. So if we look at it from a pre-workout or a pre-sleep situation, you want to think about the things you're doing through the day as well. So let's say normal 9-5er, you're training after the gym and you're going to bed at 11 o'clock. You've got to consider when your last caffeine hit was. You've got to consider if you're training later in the evening, are you coming back from training wired up? You know, these little things really do impact sleep. So you want to consider when you're taking caffeine in the day, when you're training, are you taking stimulants, and then what are you doing to calm down in the evening? So if we just look at sleep on a whole, you want to think about making your house a chilled environment. So some of you will know your partners might be the opposite to you, and they'll have the lights bright, they'll have the TV on banging, they'll have everything that's creating a stimulus. So you want to create a chilled environment to allow your brain to come down. So if you're going to bed at say 10 o'clock, then maybe at 8 o'clock you need to be thinking, right, it's wind down time. So if you are watching TV, reduce the noise of the TV. If you've got bright lights on, put small lights on, or maybe candlelight. You know, think about the timing of your last meal. Maybe you want to increase the carbohydrates in that meal. Not massively, but just enough to give you that sleepy sensation. And then it's little things like putting your phone away, avoiding any sort of blue light exposure to the best you can. And as long as you start building in these little routines that help, you know, using like, is it chamomile tea and stuff like that? You can have these little teas that help. You know, you're doing everything you can to create a relaxing environment. Then, as you go to the bedroom,
you make sure that it's, well, if you're doing your thing, you do your thing. Yeah, the bedroom is made for two things. That's fucking and sleeping, okay, nothing else. So there's no TVs in there. You know, once you're in the room, you want to make sure to get a good night's sleep that it's a cool, really dark environment. So make it like the Batcave, yeah. There should be no lights on at all. You know, if you have got a TV in there, make sure that you switch it off at the plug so then there's no standby light. You do want it like the Batcave, get it as dark as you can. And then you want to make the temperature nice and cool.
That's very, very important, by the way.
Very important. And right now it has been quite hot, hasn't it, around here recently? So, you know, if you need to use a fan to cool the room down, use a fan, make sure it's a fairly quiet one. But the room temperature is very, very important. If you're too hot, it's no doubt you're going to wake up either sweating or, but you're definitely going to wake up.
The reason, sorry to interrupt you on this, is think of it when you go on holiday, yeah? You have an aircon on in the night to stay chilled, yeah? You don't sweat your back out. When you put it on like a blunt analogy like that, it makes sense, because the reason I say is, for those who are in couples, generally you'll find the women want a hot room and the guys want a cold room, yeah? And when they put the fucking radiators up, you'll be sweating, you'll be taking off the duvet. Why? Because the room is warm. You want it chilled.
Yeah, definitely. Dark, chilled. That's very important. And then, you know, like Zach said, what you do prior to the bed is important as well. You know, I was going to say you should set an alarm to wake up, which is very important, but equally as important, you want to set an alarm to go to bed. Okay, you know, it's not just about waking up at the correct time, it is going to bed at the same time. You know, I guarantee if we asked all of you guys, you know, do you have an alarm set? You would say yes, definitely, and it will be for 6, 7, 8 a.m. And I'll say, if you set an alarm to go to bed, and you'll almost guarantee you'll say no. You know, and routine is very, very important for sleep. So, you know, going to bed at the same time every night is so valuable to getting a good night's sleep. Routine is like one of the key components to getting a good night's sleep. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, even at the weekends, okay? Obviously, if you've got stuff on, it is what it is. If you're out partying, if you're doing whatever, okay, whatever, do what you do. But the days that you're not, and the days that you are staying in and that you're being good or whatever you're doing, go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time, and then we just know that that kind of routine will really, really help your sleep during the week the next time. So yeah, set an alarm to go to bed, make sure you go up, make sure it's a cool, dark environment. Obviously, if you need an alarm to get up, you know, use your alarm to get up, just make sure you get up at the same time. You know, eventually you probably wouldn't need that alarm. We always recommend setting it so you're not late, but you'll probably wake up, you know, before the alarm goes off, which is ideal. What else?
I think some other tips you can look at again through the day is, a lot of people get up in the night to go to the toilet. Now, if we're taking the people out who are assisted and just the normal people, is tape your water through the day. So if you've got a target of 3 litres for the day, drink 2 litres by lunchtime and then start bringing it down as the day goes on. If you drink 2 pints of water before bed, it's got to come out at some point. So if your purpose is setting yourself up for a loss in sleep, then carry on doing it. And then reading before bed, tire the eyes, using candlelight like we've said.
Yeah.
You know, do everything to put you in that environment.
Yeah, you know, a big thing to do pre-bed as well, especially when you're busy, make sure you've got a to-do list done. Okay, yes. I find this so valuable. If you've got a lot going on in your mind, let's say you're really busy at work or you've got a lot on, it is so key to get it on paper prior to going to sleep. Okay, get a to-do list and write everything down that's on your mind and just put it in the drawer next to your bed or, you know, wherever, put it on the side. But you've got to get this information out of your head. Let's say you're thinking about what you've got to do tomorrow in a meeting. You know, I've got to ring this guy, I've got to email that girl, I've got to do this. Get it out of your head, write it down on a to-do list, and then your mind is free to then actually fall asleep. You know, if you're thinking about things over and over again prior to sleeping, you're never going to fall down into a sleep quickly, you know. Another thing that's good as well is using a grateful log as well. It's a bit wishy-washy. It's a bit here, there and everywhere, to be honest. But, you know, when you write certain things down that you're grateful for before bed, it just puts you in a state of gratitude. You feel much better about things. And like I said, it is a bit wishy-washy. I've done it a few times now. Have you done it? I've
used it before. I think when you're going through rough periods as well, it's good to focus the mind on positives. Because what we find with clients, these people who are struggling going to sleep, they're normally going through bad periods, or they're coming from a background of just a negative mindset. If you're going to bed with a negative mindset, you're pretty much not going to wake up with one, are you? So if you're setting yourself up again, going to bed feeling positive, you're focusing on all the good things in your life, everything that's going well, then when you wake up, you're more than likely going to wake up in a good mood.
100%. As soon as you change that mindset shift, it's hard at first. When I was doing it, or when I do it, when I need to do it, it's hard at first. You think, right, what am I grateful for? Fuck all.
Yeah.
And you say, nah, I can't write anything. You know, the list is like one thing I'm grateful for. My pillow or my bed because I'm laying it. You know, it starts off like that, but as soon as you start to ask better questions, right, no, really, what am I grateful for? Oh, I'm grateful for the lads, I'm grateful for being supported by the team. You know, you're grateful for your boyfriend or you're grateful for your girlfriend, you're grateful for supportive people around you or whatever it might be. You know, and as you get better at it, you keep sticking to that routine, you get more and more things on the list. And you know, it almost makes most bad situations a lot less bad. You know, you're in such a better mood. And it does help you shift your mindset off the bad stuff. You know yourself, when you're really thinking about something negative, you get affected by it. So as soon as you shift that focus off the negative stuff or the really busy stuff that you've got to do the next day, and you focus on what you've actually got and what you're grateful for, this really eases the mind. And like I say, it is a bit wishy-washy. Obviously when you're talking to the lads about it, or you've probably sat there thinking, oh fucking hell, try it, just give it a try. You know, it really does work. You know, that helps pre-bed as well to help you get sent off.
That flipping of the mindset's a big thing though, because it's a skill as well. Like you can start to use that skill in the daytime when you're having a bad day. If you're good at flipping from a negative to a positive, you'll do it way quicker. At first it won't be fast, but over time and practice it does get faster. So if you're then, let's say 5 years down the line from now, everything's been mint, but shit's the fan, you'll know just before bed how to flip it. It'll always pay dividends.
Yeah, you know, I think the priority when it comes to sleep hygiene, the priorities are routines. That takes priority. Get yourself in a routine, 100%.
Yeah.
Start routines, same time, going to bed, same time waking up. Then we look at what you're doing in the day, get your to-do list done, get your gratitude list done. Think about caffeine. Have you cut caffeine out at lunchtime? If you're training at night time, make sure that you eat after your training session. Make sure you're not too wired when you come home. If you are wired, this is where we come on to supplements. Okay, supplements are going to be the last tool in the toolbox for you to use to get to sleep, but yet it's the first thing that you would go to, because we used to do the same thing, exactly the same thing. You wouldn't consider writing a to-do list before bed. You wouldn't consider maybe tapering your water off. You wouldn't consider writing what am I grateful for before to bed prior to taking a sleeping supplement. And we was the same at one point. But it's so powerful to get these routines. It's so powerful to get these to-do lists done, etc. Make sure you taper the water off, and then you add a supplement on top. If you don't consider all these other things and you take a supplement, it's unlikely it's going to work. It might work short term, like you'll get a good night's sleep for 1 or 2 nights, and then you're going to start waking up again. But supplement wise, supplement needs to do a sleep stack. Yeah. Magnesium helps.
Support Max do Neuro.
What's it called?
Support Max Neuro.
Support Max Neuro, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, the sleep stack from supplement needs, like I said, pure magnesium helps.
I'm a big fan of, personally, I love magnesium, because it's not just sleep as well, it's benefiting everything else. You deplete magnesium through training, so from a recovery standpoint, magnesium's great. Yeah,
5-HTP, that helps.
Especially if you don't get trippy dreams. Some people can get trippy dreams.
I got bad trippy dreams off it, but if you're wired, 5-HTP. Like Zach said, sometimes carbohydrate meals help you get sleepy. So if you're one of these people that once you've eaten a carb meal, you're dribbling and you're falling to sleep, that might help you. Providing that the meal isn't too big. I've made the mistake a few times of eating quite a large meal before bed. Now, eating before bed isn't bad. Okay, that's a myth. After 6 p.m, that's all that bullshit. You can eat after 6 and you can eat pre-bed, but you just have to find a meal that digests well and that doesn't sit heavy on your stomach, because I've had it a few times and I still make the mistake now sometimes where I'll eat too much food prior to bed and then I'm up because my digestion's poor. You're up with your stomach, or you're just not falling asleep, so the blood is in the wrong place. So yeah, eat carbs pre-bed, that might help. Maybe not eat. It just depends on you. You got to try it. Personal preference. You got to try it. So that's going to help as well. Anything else? I think we've covered it, haven't we? There.
It's like anything. Routine's key. That's the key principle, because you have a routine for everything. Then, so if you're struggling, your routines are poor.
Yeah, and understand that waking up 1 or 2 times a night isn't optimal sleep. Waking up absolutely shagged isn't optimal. You shouldn't be waking up absolutely blitzed. If you're sat in bed with your eyes pinged open at night time, that is not optimal either. So if you are suffering with those things, just reach out, and we can always help you out with that, or implement some of these things that we spoke about, and that'll definitely help.